You sit down to answer one email. Nothing dramatic's happening, no argument, no emergency, no heavy lifting, just reading, thinking, typing, deciding. Then without realizing it, your teeth press together, your jaw tightens, your face stiffens, and your shoulders rise. Your breathing gets a little shallow, and by the time you finally notice, your jaw already feels tired. Your temples ache, your teeth might feel sore, and your face may feel like it's been working all day. That's one of the most frustrating things about daytime jaw clenching. The clench happens quietly. The symptoms show up later: the soreness, the pressure, the headache, the tight jaw at the end of the workday. Here's the question for today. What if your jaw is not tightening randomly? What if your jaw has become part of how your body focuses? Have you ever searched, why do I clench my jaw when I'm working? Or how do I stop clenching my jaw during the day? If you have, this episode's for you. Today on the Clenching Chronicle, we're talking about why your jaw tightens when you work or drive or read or use screens, or when you're concentrating or you're pushing through stress. More importantly, we're going to talk about how to catch that pattern earlier, because you can't change a habit you don't notice. Once you notice it, you can begin to release it. Welcome back to the Clenching Chronicle. I'm Randy Clare. This show is about jaw clenching, teeth grinding, bruxism, facial tension, headaches, stress patterns, and the nervous system behaviors that often hide in plain sight. Today's topic is one many people recognize immediately: clenching while focusing. It can happen at your desk, in traffic, during a meeting, on a phone call, while reading a frustrating message, during a project, while staring at a screen, or when you're trying to get one more thing done before the end of the day. What makes a pattern so easy to miss is that it may not feel dramatic. You may not feel angry. You may not feel panicked. You may not even think of yourself as stressed. You're simply concentrating. But your body's doing more than thinking. It's bracing. For many people, the jaw becomes part of that bracing pattern. The teeth touch. Molars press, the tongue tightens, the lips compress, and the shoulders start to creep up, and your face participates. It joins in the effort. That's why this episode matters. If you think bruxism only happens at night, you may be missing the hours where your jaw's practicing the habit during the day. Sleep bruxism and awake bruxism are not the same. Sleep bruxism happens while you're asleep, day or night. You cannot consciously notice it in real time. Awake bruxism, including daytime jaw clenching, often happens when you're working, driving, reading, focusing, or dealing with daily pressure. That gives awareness a much larger role. A quick note before we go deeper. Jaw clenching can have more than one driver. Dental factors, airway issues, sleep problems, pain conditions, medications, stress physiology, and jaw joint problems can all play a role. So today we're focusing on one important piece of the puzzle: the daytime awareness pattern. We'll look at why focus can make the jaw tighten, how focus clench loop works, why common reminders often fail, how mouthguards and awareness tools play different roles, and how to use a simple reset when your jaw tightens again. The goal is not perfection. You do not need to monitor every muscle in your face all day long. A better goal is to catch the pattern sooner. The earlier you notice the clench, the easier it becomes to interrupt. Let's begin with the moment most people miss: the beginning. People with daytime jaw clenching are usually aware of the consequences: a tired jaw after work, temple tightness, tooth sensitivity without a clear reason, pressure around their ears, a face that feels tense in the morning. The habit of rubbing the jaw without even thinking about it. What they often miss is the exact moment when the clenching begins. And that's the key, because the habit usually starts quietly. Laptop opens and the teeth touch. An email appears and the jaw tightens. A video call begins and the shoulders lift. Traffic slows and the molars press. A phone screen pulls attention downward. and the tongue pushes. Concentration deepens and the face locks in. None of this may feel obvious when it's happening. That's why people often say, I don't think I clench during the day. Then when they check, they realize their teeth are touching, or the jaw is held tight, or they've been bracing their face through the entire work session. Here's a useful way to think about it. Pain is often late information. Soreness is late information. A headache is late information. Tooth sensitivity is also late. Those symptoms may tell you something's been happening, but they don't always tell you when it started. If the first sign is jaw pain, the habit's already completed part of the loop. The muscles have practiced it. The nervous system's reinforced it, and the body has repeated the pattern. That doesn't mean you failed. It means the habit is automatic. Automatic habits need earlier feedback, not more shame, not more focus, not another vague instruction to relax. They need awareness closer to the moment of action. So here's the first big idea. The problem is not only that you clench, the problem is that you clench invisibly. So don't only ask, why does my jaw hurt? Ask, when does my jaw start helping me get through the day? The question changes the whole conversation. Now, let's talk about why focus can make the jaw tighten. And that's the part that often makes the pattern finally make sense. Focus is not only a mental state. Focus has a body posture. Think about what happens when you concentrate. Your head may lean towards a screen. Your eyes narrow a bit. Shoulders move up. Hands grip the mouse, or a steering wheel, or a phone, or the edge of the desk. Breathing starts to become shallow. Sometimes you hold your breath a few seconds without realizing it. Then the jaw joins the pattern. The jaw becomes part of the effort, almost as if the body's saying, we need control here. We need precision. We need to finish. We need to respond. We need to push through. So the jaw tightens as part of that internal command. And this happens even when you're not emotionally upset. The distinction matters because many people assume jaw tension, jaw clenching only comes from obvious stress. Stress can absolutely contribute, but focus itself can be a trigger. So can effort, mental load, screens, posture, fatigue, multitasking, trying to do too much without a reset. You may clench while solving a problem, while trying not to speak too soon in a meeting, during traffic, when a page won't load, after reading one difficult sentence in an email, or when you're tired but still trying to perform. The jaw is rarely acting alone. It's often part of a larger body response. Neck, shoulders, breath, eyes, hands, tongue, posture, attention, all of these systems interact. That's why yelling at your jaw to relax usually doesn't work for long. A better question is, what state is my body entering when I focus? Is the body narrowing, bracing, holding, pressing, guarding, rushing? If the whole system is bracing, the jaw may simply be the place where you feel it most. Think of it like driving with the parking brake half engaged. Car still moves. You can still get where you're going, but the system's carrying an extra resistance. And over time, that resistance creates wear. Daytime jaw clenching can work the same way. You can still work, you can still function, you can still focus, but your jaw's paying a price for being recruited into every task. Focus clenching is best understood as a learned effort pattern. Your jaw has learned to participate in the concentration. Once that association forms, it tends to repeat, unless something interrupts the loop. So let's break that loop down. Once you understand the sequence, the habit becomes less mysterious. Most daytime jaw clenching follows 4 basic steps: a cue, a response, a consequence, and reinforcement. The cue is the moment that starts the pattern. For one person, it may be opening the laptop. For another, checking email. Others will notice it while driving or reading a tense message. A cue does not have to feel dramatic. You may not think, I'm stressed. You may think, I'm just starting work. But your body may have learned that work means tension. The laptop opens, the jaw prepares. The phone lights up, the teeth get closer. Traffic slows, molars press together. Next comes a response. That response is the clench. Teeth touch, molars press, jaw muscles contract. The tongue may press against your teeth. Lips tighten, shoulders rise. Hands grip, breath pauses. This can happen quickly and quietly, and after enough repetition, it starts to feel normal. And when a pattern feels normal, people stop questioning it. Then comes the consequence. At first, the consequence may not feel that negative. This part is important. Clenching can feel like focus, like control, like holding yourself together, like effort, like intensity, like getting serious. Here's the part that changes the way many people think about jaw clenching. The clench may not feel bad at first. It may feel productive. That short-term feeling may help the pattern survive. Later, the cost appears. Jaw fatigue, temple headaches, tooth soreness, face tightness, ear pressure, neck tension, and shoulder discomfort. Maybe a heavy feeling in the face or a sense that your mouth is never fully resting. Finally, reinforcement keeps the loop alive. If the clench goes unnoticed, nothing interrupts it. The brain receives no new information. The body repeats the same response. The loop completes itself. The next time the same cue appears, the pattern is more likely to return. That's why awareness is not a minor detail. Awareness is the interruption point. It's the moment when an automatic pattern becomes available for change. You're not trying to become tense about being tense. You're not trying to obsess over your jaw. The goal is to notice a pattern closer to the beginning. That's the window where retraining can happen. A lot of advice begins too late. Stretch, massage, relax, breathe, all can be useful. But if clenching happens repeatedly throughout the day, the more important question is, how do you notice it sooner? Don't wait for a headache to tell you what your jaw was doing an hour ago. Let's make this practical. Think about your last long work session. Not in general, think about a real one. Maybe it was this morning. Maybe it was yesterday. Maybe it was this time. Maybe it was the last time you sat at your computer for more than an hour. Now ask yourself, did your jaw feel tired afterwards? Did your temples feel tight? Did your teeth feel sensitive? Did your face feel heavy or overworked? Did you notice pressure near your ears? Were your neck and shoulders tight after screen time? Did your jaw feel guarded, locked, or held? Did your teeth touch when your mouth was supposed to be at rest? Did you feel relief when you consciously let your jaw go? If you answered yes to several of those questions, your jaw may have been participating in the focus session, not randomly, not because you were weak, not because you were careless, because your body may have learned to brace during concentration. Pain is not the only clue. Sometimes the signal is effort. Your face feels like it's doing too much. Your mouth never feels fully quiet. Your tongue feels active and the jaw feels ready for something. Your teeth hover close together, prepared to press at any moment. So let's do a quick check now. Without changing anything yet, notice your jaw. Are your teeth touching? Is your tongue pressing? Do you feel your lips tight? Have your shoulders started to lift? Are you breathing shallowly? Is the jaw held in place even though you're not chewing, speaking, or swallowing? Now let your teeth come apart. Just soften your tongue, drop your shoulders, and exhale slowly. Let your face loosen and relax. That small pause is not a cure. It's just awareness. And awareness is where the pattern becomes visible. For many people, one question becomes extremely useful during the day. Are my teeth touching? At rest, your teeth generally do not need to be together. Eating, swallowing, and speaking are different. During normal rest, the jaw should have space. That space is not only physical, it sends a different signal to the system. Not brace, not grip, not push, just rest. Screen time is one of the most common environments for daytime clenching. Not only because screens can be stressful, screens combine several triggers at once. Visual focus, forward head posture, rounded shoulders, and shallow breathing. Also, long sitting, maybe deadlines and messages and notifications contribute too. How about work pressure? Fatigue. Now, picture yourself looking down at your phone. Your head moves forward, your neck changes position, your shoulders round, your tongue becomes a little active, your mouth closes firmly, teeth drift together. Laptop work can create a similar pattern. You lean in, eyes lock on the screen, the body stays still, full breaths become less frequent. Hands remain fixed. A stressful message can activate the system while the body can barely move. That combination can create jaw bracing because the jaw does not live separately from the neck, shoulders, breath, and eyes, especially not posture. This is why screen-related jaw tension usually needs more than one reminder. You may need to adjust the screen, pause more often, improve your posture, breathe more fully. Notice when your teeth touch. Use feedback when the clench happens. The most practical approach is usually small and repeatable. A little more awareness earlier in the loop, more often during the day. This is the pattern that begins to shift. If you clench during the day, you've probably tried to relax your jaw. Maybe you use sticky notes, or you set on a phone alarm, or put a reminder on your desk. Maybe you tried stretching, or massage your jaw, repeated the instructions, stop clenching. Some of those tools can help. A reminder can be useful. Stretching may feel good. A posture change can reduce strain. Breathing can settle the system. The limitation is timing. Many tools don't catch the behavior when it happens. A phone alarm goes off at 10 o'clock. You relax your jaw. That's useful. Then at 10:04, you open a difficult email and you start clenching again. The alarm did its job at 10. It had no way to know what happened 4 minutes later. Sticky notes also work for a while. After a few days, though, the brain may stop seeing them. The note becomes part of the background. The habit continues. This is the difference between a time-based reminder and a behavior-based cue. A time-based reminder says, check your jaw now. A behavior-based cue says, you're clenching now. That distinction matters because the teachable moment is the clench itself. The habit changes when the cue gets close enough to the behavior. Before awareness, the habit runs automatically. After awareness, there's a pause. Inside that pause, you can release. This brings us to an important distinction. Mouthguards and awareness tools don't do the same jobs. A mouthguard can be very helpful when your dentist recommends one. It may protect your teeth from force. It can reduce tooth-to-tooth contact. it might provide an important protective barrier. And for many people, that protection has value. A traditional mouthguard, however, is usually passive. It protects. It does not necessarily teach. It does not always tell you when you're clenching. It may not interrupt the habit while it's happening. So if someone wears a night guard or a mouth guard and still feels jaw fatigue, tension headaches, facial soreness, or daytime clenching, the issue may not be protection. The missing piece may be awareness. The question is not only, are my teeth protected? A second question matters just as much. Do I know when I'm clenching? If you continue clenching into a guard, your teeth may have a layer of protection, but the jaw muscles will still be working. The tension pattern may remain alive. The nervous system may keep practicing the same response. A mouth guard can protect your teeth from the force. It may not teach your brain to stop creating the force. That's why this distinction is so useful. Mouth guards protect, awareness retrains. Both can have a role, but they don't serve the same function. For daytime clenching, especially clenching while working, driving, or focusing, awareness is often the missing link. This is where Clench Alert fits. Not as a replacement for dental care, not as a cure, just as a daytime awareness tool. The purpose is simple. When you clench, Clench Alert gives you a gentle vibration cue. That cue says, there it is. Not later tonight, not after the headache, not after the jaw fatigue, right now. And the moment gives you a chance to release. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. This just fits in your mouth, like this. When I bite down, it vibrates, and I know that I'm clenching. It's simple, it's subtle, it's something that I can do when I feel I need to, and it's something I don't have to use all the time, and it's not a lot of drama taking it in and out of my mouth. So let me show you what I mean by behavior-based biofeedback. Clench Alert just sits in your mouth during daytime use. When the jaw tightens enough to activate it, the device gives a gentle vibration. The goal is not to force the jaw open. The goal is to make an invisible habit visible. That alert becomes the cue. Notice a clench, release the jaw, reset the body, then return to the task with less tension. A phone alarm tells you to check your jaw at a scheduled time. Clench Alert responds to the behavior itself. That's why biofeedback can be useful for people who don't notice that they're clenching until the discomfort starts. Clench Alert does not diagnose, treat, or cure bruxism, and it does not replace dental care. Its role is very specific. It helps you notice daytime clenching closer to the moment it happens. For a habit that hides in plain sight, that shift can be meaningful. The habit cannot stay invisible and change at the same time. It has to become visible first. Now, let's walk through a simple reset. Use it at your desk. Do it right now while you're watching this. You can do it before a meeting or after reading an email, or when you're driving in your car, you're at a red light, you've got a second to do this. Before picking up your phone, anytime you catch yourself jaw clenching. This should not feel complicated or aggressive. Do not force your jaw open. Do not stretch hard. Do not punish the habit. Give your body another option. Here's the reset. Stop for a minute. Let your teeth come apart. Keep the lips soft. Relax your tongue. Drop your shoulders. Unclench your hands. Exhale slowly. Let your face soften. Sit a little taller. Return to what you were doing with your jaw loose. If you want to find the optimal jaw position with a relaxed tongue, just keep your teeth apart, relax your jaw, and say with, and you'll feel your tongue softly come right behind your upper teeth in a nice relaxed position. So simple does not mean meaningless. The power is in repetition. Each time you notice and release, you teach your nervous system something. Focus does not require clenching. Emails don't require your molars pressed together. Driving doesn't need you to have a locked jaw, and screens don't need facial tension. Concentration doesn't require bracing. A helpful cue is lips soft, teeth apart, tongue relaxed, shoulders down. Slow breath out. Use that quietly a few times a day. Lips soft, teeth apart, tongue relaxed, shoulders down, slow breath out. Use that quietly a few times a day, not as a command, just as a reset. At the beginning, the goal was never to clench again. For many people, that's just not realistic. The first goal is to shorten the distance between the clenching and the noticing. Maybe you used to clench for an hour before you realized it. Then you catch it after 20 minutes, then after 5, then after 30 seconds. That's progress. Celebrate. Progress is not only fewer symptoms, progress is earlier awareness. If you're just starting on this journey, avoid trying to monitor your jaw all day. That can become exhausting. It can even create more tension. Use this simple structure instead. I call it the 3-point jaw awareness map. Before focus, during focus, after focus. 3 points. Before focus, during focus, after focus. First, before focus. Before work begins, ask, is my jaw already preparing for the day? Use this before the first email, your call, a drive, or a work block. Let the teeth come apart. Drop the shoulders. Take one slow breath out. Begin from a less braced position. Second, during focus, this is the most important part. When you're deep at work, ask, am I clenching because I've focused? Notice your teeth. Notice the tongue. Notice your shoulders. Notice your breathing. Then reset. Teeth apart, tongue relaxed, shoulders down, slow exhale. Third, after focus, when the work session ends, scan the result. How does my jaw feel? Are my temples tight? Do my teeth feel sore? Was clenching worse during screens, driving, meetings, or stress? Did one situation keep showing up? This helps connect the triggers with the symptoms. Many people experience jaw pain as if it appears out of nowhere. Often, the body left clues all day long. You can also attach jaw awareness to specific daily triggers. Open your laptop, check your jaw. Pick up your phone, check your jaw. Stop at a red light, check your jaw. Read a tense message, perfect time to check your jaw. Finish a work block, now's the time to check your jaw. The point's not obsession. The point is pattern recognition. Once you know your highest risk moments, you can work with them. You're no longer just guessing, you're observing, and observation gives you leverage. Awareness is powerful, but it's not a substitute for professional care. Talk to a dentist or qualified healthcare professional if you have ongoing jaw pain, tooth pain, cracked teeth, worn teeth, frequent headaches, jaw locking, limited opening, ear pain without a clear ear problem, or symptoms that are getting worse. Jaw clenching can be part of a larger picture, and dental factors might be involved. So might joint issues or muscle tension or headache patterns, sleep problems, medication factors, stress physiology, airway or breathing concerns, or any other pain condition. This is a chronic condition and needs to be treated like one. A dentist can look for signs of tooth wear, bite changes, cracked teeth, oral appliance needs, and jaw joint concerns. Depending on your symptoms, a physician or a physical therapist or an oral facial pain specialist may also be part of your care team. Awareness training does not replace diagnosis. It helps you become a better observer of your own patterns. That can make professional conversations way more useful. Instead of only saying, my jaw hurts, you might be able to say, I get worse after computer work. I clench during driving. My teeth touch when I read email. My headache tends to show up after a long focus session. My jaw relaxes when I notice and reset. That information really, really matters. It connects symptoms to behavior patterns. It also helps you participate more actively in your own care. It gives you your power back. If your jaw tightens when you focus, take this with you. You're not broken. You're not careless. You're not failing because you've not simply relaxed your way out of it. Your body may have learned a pattern. The jaw may have become part of how you concentrate, part of how you push through pressure, part of how you manage screens, deadlines, traffic, decisions, stress. Learned patterns can be noticed. Once noticed, they can be interrupted, not perfectly, not instantly, but consistently. That's where change begins, not with shame, not with force, with awareness close enough to the behavior that your body gets a new choice. Before the next email, just pause, ask yourself, are my teeth touching? At the next red light, take a second. Notice your jaw. When you pick up your phone, check your tongue, teeth, and shoulders. If your temples tighten, look backward and ask, when did this start? You may begin to see the pattern. When you see the pattern, you can begin to change your response. Notice, release, reset. That's the practice. That's the starting point. For many people, it was the missing link between living with jaw tension and finally understanding what the body's been repeating. If this episode helped you recognize your own clenching pattern, subscribe to the Clenching Chronicle. We'll keep exploring the connection between jaw clenching, bruxism, headache, stress, sleep, focus, and the nervous system. Because your jaw is not just a dental story. Sometimes it's a nervous system story, and awareness is where that story starts to change. I'm Randy Clare. Thanks for listening. Remember, you can't change what you don't notice. Start there. Notice, release, reset.